my name is Lauren Eloise and welcome back to another gay video. This video is so special because I'm joined with a lovely bunch of queer people.
Hi, my name is Izzy, I'm 23, my pronouns are she, her, and I am a lesbian.
Hey everybody, my name's Cody and I'm transgender.
Hi, my name is Erin, aka Gal Pal.
Hello, I'm Maxxx Pleasure. I'm a bisexual drag king and YouTuber based in New York City.
Hi everyone, my name is Chelsea Henshaw. I am 21 years old. My pronouns are she, her.
My name's Lara and my pronouns are both she and her.
We're talking about coming out today.
My coming out experience.
The story of the first time that I came out.
How I started the conversation.
When we chose to come out to some of our nearest and dearest.
A coming out moment.
I want to bring their stories to you guys because I want to show you all the different ways people approach the coming out conversation. There's not a one-size-fits-all way to approach it. Thank you guys so much for working with me on this video, by the way. Before we get into the first story, you might notice I am wearing purple. My sister did an amazing job on my eyes, but I'm wearing purple because it is Wear It Purple Day in a week's time on the 27th of August. Wear It Purple Day is an LGBTQ+ awareness day. I'm going to be wearing purple next Friday to celebrate diversity, but also show my support to young rainbow people that I stand with them. So if you guys want to join in, wear something purple on the 27th of August. If you want to do something a little bit extra, you can donate to Wear It Purple. I'll put the link in the description. Let's go, let's do this.
So when I came out, I was 14. I came out to my friends first, and it was because I did what most lesbians do, and I fell in love with a school teacher. I had to share it because I'm a person that completely overshares every aspect of my life, and I told my best friend. And then, you know, surely a lot of other people ended up finding out about my sexuality. What made it worse is that then my teacher, who I had a crush on, ended up finding out that I had a crush on her. I actually ended up coming out to my family when I turned 17, when I met my current partner. So we'd been together for 7 years now. I didn't really feel a need to come out before that to my family because I didn't actually want to. Not because I thought they were going to be unsafe people to come out to, but saying the words out loud about something so personal to me in my situation was a little bit too confronting to say to my parents and my grandparents. I don't have any siblings. But when I decided to, I was very, very fortunate that I had the support of another teacher who I didn't have a crush on, who I was able to calmly approach and ask for some assistance. I'd been doing very unwell that day, was very upset, and she saw that I was upset. And I said, I am in love with a girl and I need to tell my family. I'll never forget what she said to me. Instead of questioning my sexuality or questioning anything about, you know, the girl that I was in love with or asking any kinds of questions that might have been intrusive, her response was, okay, what do we do? And it was with her help that I was able to write a letter to my parents. Surrounding, I guess, what I had been experiencing, the feelings I had been experiencing, the fear that I was experiencing, not because I thought they wouldn't be supportive, but when you say it out loud, it makes it real. And when you make it real, sometimes you can't take it back. And I was very happy living in my bubble with Tay in our little world together when no one else was around. And that was really fun and special. And when you begin to tell other people, you run the risk of people not liking who you are. But I'm very fortunate. My family love me very, very much. They have since the beginning, and they love Taylor. They now consider Taylor to be another daughter and granddaughter, and I'm very fortunate for that. But that was my coming out experience. I don't talk about it a lot because it wasn't that dangerous and it wasn't scary. A lot of people like to hear the sad stories and how you can turn them around. My story wasn't sad at all. It's always been full of love and full of support. There was a little while where I took it for granted, but I've learned now not to, and I appreciate every second of how they were able to hold me tightly and tell me they loved me no matter what.
My coming out experience was a little different because I am trans. So I first actually came out as gay, as liking girls, and then I came out as transgender. I want to talk about the being trans part, and I want to talk about how I came out to my team. So I competitively swam in college for 4 years. I was on the women's team, but at this time I identify as a man. So that was an interesting and different experience. For me, when I first got to college, it was kind of like the first team I'd been on that was like primarily like it was a women's team. Everybody was very proud to be a woman, all the time they would always cheer for us and be like, let's go ladies, we are strong independent women, like let's go girls, you got us girl. I just never been like referred to as a girl so much or as a lady so much. And when I had swam in high school, it was always like more co-ed, like we always practiced with the boys. And coming to college, our teams were completely separate. We had different coaches, everything felt like it was all about me being a girl, and I was like, something is wrong here. So what I did to tell my team is I actually sent out an email to everybody because at that point in time, that was like the way that we had communicated to each other. I didn't really plan it. I was thinking about doing it for a while, but when I finally did it, it was like in a time of desperation and a time of need, because I was just so emotionally drained and fed up, basically just constantly being misgendered and miscalled, like, and called a lady all the time. My email said I didn't feel like a girl and I didn't feel like a boy, and I was still figuring it out, and that I wanted to use they them pronouns. I wanted people to stop referring to me as a lady and to the whole team like as a lady. I said in this email that when you refer to the group of us as ladies, it makes me super uncomfortable. So I said, you know, if you're gonna refer to, you know, 5 girls over here as ladies, that's fine, as long as I'm not a group. I'm not in that group. I ended up like completely changing that team environment. This will be the first year that I'm not on the team, and I'm really interested to see if the ladies comes back now that I'm not on the team or not. But yeah, I did that my freshman year of college. Right at the end of the first semester, I was 18. It was received amazingly. I went to a really great school. My teammates were amazing. I had a friend of mine who I had already like come out to previously. She pressed send on the email because I was so nervous that I like couldn't do it. And I immediately got like text messages from my teammates telling me their support. Everybody was super positive. It took a little bit for people to get the they them pronouns. That was a little bit hard for them. Fast forward 3.5 years, I now use he him pronouns. I have changed my name since then. So things do keep changing with me, and I did transition medically, and for my last meet in college, I was actually able to swim on the men's team, which was the best experience ever.
I was almost 17, just about to start my last year of high school. I had a boyfriend who I loved and still do love dearly, but I knew that I would never be in love with them. I spent the summer avoiding them and avoiding my feelings. There was just a lot of inner turmoil and doubt going on, and I needed some space to figure everything out. And then one day I was having lunch with one of my best friends who probably knew better than I did that I definitely wasn't straight. She asked how things were going with my boyfriend, and I rambled for a bit trying to figure out or work up the courage to tell her what I had started to know about myself. And she just sort of stopped me and went, "You're a lesbian, aren't you?" And I nodded, and then I sort of felt like I could breathe a little bit again. She was the first person I told. Over the coming year of school, I came out to everyone who really mattered to me, was important in my life, but I did it in my own time and in my own way. With everyone, it's a little bit different. And I still do that to this day, and it gets a little bit easier every time. And it's really easy now because I just get to casually mention my girlfriend in conversation. Love you.
So I actually didn't have like a coming out moment. I mean, it happened, but it wasn't like I prepared and planned it and like sat my parents down on the couch to like break it to them that I was bisexual. I actually came out like kind of suddenly and randomly. My dad was like, "Hey, like whatever happened between you and your best friend? Like I don't get what happened there." And I was like, "Well, Dad, we broke up." And then my mom was like, "What?" And I was like, "I'm bisexual, we were dating, and now we broke up, and it's very sad." And my parents were just kind of like, okay. They didn't take it badly. It wasn't a disaster, but they didn't necessarily take it very positively either. So since that very quick, awkward coming out when I was 19, my parents have become a lot more accepting of my queerness. And I think it has a lot to do with my being a drag king and my being so heavily involved and passionate about the gay and nightlife scene in New York City. They're starting to grasp with the fact that bisexuality isn't situational. Just because my partner isn't always gonna be a woman or someone who appears to be the same gender as me, that doesn't mean that my queerness is suddenly not part of my identity or my personality or the way that I move through and experience the world. Seeing my parents, who were the people I was most afraid to come out to, start to kind of like accept me in that way has been really cool.
The year was 2016. I was 19 years old and I had just started dating my best friend at the time. At that point, I didn't know that I was lesbian, but I just knew that I loved my friend and I was happy in that relationship. We actually put on Facebook that we were in a relationship, so our entire friends and family could see that. I wasn't really thinking about the consequences of doing that. I was just so excited in the moment. It definitely was not planned. It was just a spur of the moment thing, but I realized that I was gonna have to do some explaining. I remember going into my sister's room, sitting on her bed and showing her on my phone the Facebook status, and I was like, just so you know, this is legit. I am actually in a relationship. I'm pretty sure she thought I was joking, as did literally everyone around me. I then got her to call my mum into the room. I told my mum and I was like, Mum, you know that thing on Facebook? It's true, like we're dating. And she didn't believe me either. So I didn't necessarily say at that point in time that I was lesbian. I just let them know that I was dating a girl. I then sat down with my family in the lounge room and Dad was like, you know what? This is cool. This is fine. We still love you type of thing. They said the right things at the time, but it still felt a little shit not being believed, but I think that's because people just didn't know what it meant. I didn't even know. It wasn't like I was coming out as gay. I was just being like, I'm dating a girl. Deal with it. I also kind of told my friends in a similar way. I remember going to a little cafe. We were in the same friendship group, so we kind of had to be like, hey guys, we're dating. And again, I think they all thought it was a joke, so that was really frustrating, but they were all really supportive. If I could do things differently, I would sit down with my family and straight up say, like, I'm actually dating a girl. It's not a joke. I don't know what this means for me yet, but this is what I'm doing. And I would have left it at that. I wouldn't change the past, otherwise I wouldn't be where I am today, so.
I was 17 when I was kind of forced out, and 20 when I officially chose to own that conversation. So when I say I was kind of forced out, I went to a fab school where I really enjoyed myself, but I can't say that the education was particularly great around gender, identity, and sexual orientation. I started dating a girl at school, but chose to keep it quiet because I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready to face up potentially to what that meant, and I was scared because I didn't really have any role models around me or didn't know how those conversations would go. What kind of ended up happening was, unfortunately, a lot of rumors spread around, as you know, some kids do, about me, and it got through not just my school, but also to my brother's school and adjacent schools that friends were at. I kind of got forced out by, I guess, this rumour mill. I was told in not so uncertain terms by a few people that this was the case. I should do my best to not be. However, when I turned 20, I decided that actually I wasn't going to fight my sexual orientation anymore and identifying as a lesbian, that I was sick of sleeping with men to prove to myself that I was not gay, and then I was going to be brave and see what this meant for me. I wrote a letter to my parents, which I still own. Within this little pack is the letter that they wrote back to me as well. So my family has gone through a few hurdles around my orientation. Unfortunately, my dad had early onset Alzheimer's and passed away this year. We're kind of a funny family in terms of the fact that we were always super close, had some significant loss, and that's kind of occupied a lot of the main conversations. But what this letter allowed me to do was it allowed me to write down everything that was in my head, all the fears, all the things I was scared of, all my worries, and present it to my parents, so that I didn't get necessarily emotional or didn't say all the things that I wanted to. My parents obviously chose to do the same back for me, and then we had a really healthy, robust discussion afterwards. Some of the themes that, if I think about, that came out was again around role models. They had a lot of gay men friends. They didn't actually have many gay women. So for them, they didn't know what that would mean for me. They were scared about my future. They knew horrible statistics that existed then around the queer community, around bullying. They knew my story from school. They'd seen how much it changed my personality, how it had affected my mental health. And so they were scared. However, that conversation allowed us to move forward. It made me include my parents in my life. It also made me willing to share stories with them that before I was petrified of them finding out, and therefore was removing the relationship completely. And I think of my dad with Alzheimer's and passing away, and know that he knew who I was, he accepted me for who I was, and he would be bloody proud of who I am today.
I was about 14 or 15, coming home from a soccer practice with my mum, and at that time I was the youngest in my team, an age group of senior women. And these ladies had a lot more confidence in who they were. Little baby Chelsea was still figuring herself out, but she wasn't afraid to call out people on like their shit. I remember my mum had decided to talk about one of the older ladies on the team and comment on her appearance and how she looked more masculine. Oh, like she's definitely gay. I didn't really understand why she had to point that out in the first place and why that mattered. She had asked me, oh, why are you getting so defensive? And I had just said, well, this is really cringe the way I remember it and why I said it, but you know what, 14-year-old Chelsea, like, that's okay, man. I said, oh, because maybe I swing that way. I'm not sure, but maybe I do. And long story short, in that situation, it wasn't very positive, but however, it did open a door to other conversations surrounding who I am, and I guess helping me on my journey. Although it wasn't always easy talking about this stuff, I have certainly become a lot more confident in myself and comfortable, especially calling people out on their bullshit. It could be something as simple as, questioning people if they use a word such as gay as a derogatory term. With sharing stories and educating, we are able to change a lot of people's views, and that is really needed in today's world. I think that education is key, and without even being aware of things, people will carry on to do the things that they do and say, and there will be no change. No matter how little or big you think you are starting the conversation with, you have to start somewhere, and the impact that you can have is bigger than you realize.
Again, I just want to say a huge thanks for being part of this project. I hope that you guys enjoyed watching everyone's different stories. It really means a lot to me that you wanted to join in with this and share your experiences with a whole bunch of gays. Before you guys leave, I see it, you're about to leave the video. Make sure you write down the 27th of August in your phone. Let's open the discussion though. Let me know how you approach the conversation, or if you haven't come out, let me know how you plan on doing it. I'd love to chat with you there. Until the next video, stay safe. Bye! From now on, I'm only going to refer to you guys as humans. And that one dragon. If you enjoyed this video, you'll probably enjoy the video where I talk to my mum about coming out advice, so click on this card to go straight there.